Welcome to Flipping Houses for Rookies, the only podcast that shows you how to take back your financial freedom and live the American dream by becoming a real estate investor. Without the banks, without the big wigs, and without the realtor's nonsense. This isn't about selling you coaching or some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about opening your eyes to the possibilities so you can make real chunks of dough, buy your life back, and become a free American. With over 400 episodes aired, we're delivering everything you need to know to find deals, talk to sellers, structure deals, and win big. It's time to take action, change your mindset, and claim what's yours. Real estate is the key to your freedom, and we're here to show you the way. Subscribe now and catch our latest episodes on YouTube at Flipping Houses for Rookies, because your financial freedom starts today. Now, here are your hosts, Bill and Pete.
All right, here we are at another episode of Flipping Houses for Rookies. Hey, Peter.
Hey, Bill, and hey, everybody.
Podcast number 468 today, Peter.
There we go.
The name of the episode is Revealed. Creative Real Estate Dealmaker Revenue Malpractice.
Oh, boy, I didn't expect that last word in there. What the? I never know what you're coming up with, folks. Really, what are we doing today, Bill? Malpractice? Yipes. Go ahead.
Part one. So it's Revealed. Creative Real Estate Dealmaker Revenue Malpractice, Part 1.
Okay.
Here's the description. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Bad news. You're committing malpractice on motivated sellers and don't even know it. After some recent coaching with private clients, I've identified the exact malpractice that's choking your deals before they even start. You think you're being professional. You think you're following the system. But you're actually making the same critical errors that doctors get sued for. And it's killing your credibility with sellers faster than you could say subject to. Your offers get rejected. Sellers go cold after initial interest. And you can't close deals even when you know the numbers work. You're spinning your wheels while other investors are crushing it. And just like medicine, creative real estate malpractice has consequences. Sellers lose trust. Your reputation suffers. Your income flattens. And the cure isn't more technique or better scripts. The cure is understanding why you keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Listen today and crack open in your mind the exact psychological framework that explains why the top 1% to 3% take all the best deals down. Ta-da!
All I can say is you got my attention. I'm not sure where you're going with this. Sometimes I know where you're headed. And you might say something, I go, oh, but I really know where you're going, so go ahead.
I don't know if you realize, but recently, especially the last 20 episodes,
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of research. I'm like on a whole nother level. It's like I'm tired of just the same old crap. So I spend a lot of time reading, a lot of research. I spend some time with AI. That helps. Some like before I was with you, I was just reading a sales letter. Books. I read a lot of books. I've been reading a lot again. So anyways, let's do some housekeeping. So the other thing I'm going to say is wherever you're watching us or listening to us, please subscribe to it right now, because we're on weekly, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursday mornings. We do a live stream And then the team picks it up over the weekend, and by Monday morning, it's on the podcast platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing is, head on over to Amazon, type in my name, William Hawthorne, with no E, Hawthorn, and pick up my new book, Leads, Deals, Cash, Creative Real Estate Operators Manual. They get a lot of feedback with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep dragging my feet, but I got to get the workbook done. I'm going to hopefully get on that pretty soon. I might just hire somebody to edit it instead of it waiting for me.
Yeah.
But in any event, that is actually part of my coaching program. In my ads, it's like, why spend $30,000 for a coaching when you could buy this book?
Yeah.
And it's really that way. The workbook will be part of my coaching program. It's a 13-week process that you'll go through on how to become a creative real estate investors. But all the data and the source of everything is in the book, Leads, Deals, Cash, Creative Real Estate Operators Manual.
Mm-hmm.
Also, don't forget to like us and leave us a review wherever you're watching us or hearing us. And there is a link in the chat that will get you some free stuff. So, I'm sorry, not in the chat. A link in the description. I always say that wrong. A link in the description. So make sure when you stop driving or stop exercising or stop working or whatever it is you're doing, just make sure you go to the episode name. If you're watching it on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, the link is right in the chat where you can see it. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So enough of that. Let's get moving. I've got 10 pages of notes today, so we got to skip along, and it's just part one. So
Okay.
I will get to that. I will get to soon.
Good.
So first, Peter, what exactly do we mean by malpractice in creative real estate?
Well, I'm not sure where you're really headed, of course, until you tell me. But mal means bad, and practice means something you're doing, some activity that you're involved in, that you're utilizing. So something's not right.
Right. So it simply means, to me, improper or neglect of helpful activity or treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
good.
an act or conduct of professional. It's an act or conduct of a professional which does not meet the standard of competence and results that rewards the seller's goals.
Mm.
So who's saying you have malpractice?
Well, it would come from the customer.
Right. So it would be the seller or the buyer. The buyers are easy because we have a product and we're kind of like take it or leave it type of thing because we have such a good.
Yeah.
Because we're offering house for sale, no bank qualifying, which includes lease options and owner financing and land contracts and all that stuff when we're selling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the person that has a favorable past and can't get a bank mortgage or a bank loan or an institutional loan will flock to us like, white on rice.
Mm-hmm.
So the buyer part of it or selling is easy, and I know that we don't talk about that enough. But once you advertise the correct ad, you will get a fleeing. If you don't get 150 people responding to an ad, there's something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's been going through that lately. The market seems to be changing right now, so some of our ads are not doing that, but you only need one.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's not important. These numbers are not important.
Mm-hmm.
So malpractice is an act or conduct of a professional which does not meet the standard of competence and results that rewards the seller's goals. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go over what competence today is because that's where the malpractice is.
Sure.
Okay? So to make it even simpler in case the two definitions I've given you so far don't click, malpractice implies a more serious level of fault or a lower level of care for the seller.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the magic that I can't emphasize enough. It seems like it's too simplistic, but not simple to do.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's simple to do because it's part of my personality, I guess. I mean, I've definitely got a lot of quirks in my personality. You know what I mean? Especially sometimes I do things completely like, what the hell is he doing that for, right? But here's what I'm going to tell you. The level of care for a seller trumps everything.
Mm.
It trumps everything.
Yeah.
You could not even know what a lease option is and still do deals because you care for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just being human, especially in the world of AI and robots on its way, you just can't do that. You know, which, by the way, a little bit of side note there. I was thinking about this the other day, right?
Yeah.
So what an industry we're in, huh? Because they're talking about AI and robots taking over jobs.
Yeah.
That's like a thing now, right?
Well, every time something goes like, hey, we have cars now. Oh my God, what's going to happen to carriages and horses and buggy whips? Oh my God. Every time there's concern of what's going to be lost and they don't realize what's still available or what's going to be gained. But in our business, what's the point?
Well, imagine a robot trying to sell a house.
Yeah.
Right? So our industry by default will be a good industry because it's human to human.
Yeah.
It's emotion. It's like, because one thing that I'm in another coaching group and there's a guy, Daniel, in there. And we have two methodologies. First of all, he sells $80,000, $100,000 houses. I sell $400,000 houses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my methodology is to put a lockbox out front, send all the traffic to the house, and let him do a self-guided tour.
Okay.
Right. His method is, and then I pre-qualify them because I want them to fall in love with the house, and then I want them to pre-qualify.
Sure.
He pre-qualifies before he even gives them the address on the phone. Right. But that's because where he is, getting a $20,000 to $40,000 deposit. That's how much the house is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That he's not getting that. So it's just a different methodology.
Does he get a lot of people that he doesn't want to talk to because it's a cheap house and too many people show up that really might not buy it?
I think he's in Missouri or something. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere
Midwest.
It's just it's
Midwest.
It's just not a high income area.
Yeah.
So the houses, he buys them for 40, 50,000, sells them for 100, 120.
Yeah.
Right, and he's got a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing that I noticed with him is that my portfolio, I think, is a lot smaller than his, but I think it's worth as much as his because he's making $40,000 profits and I'm making $140,000 profits.
Sure. Sure.
All right, so back to the program. Making deals, especially gargantuan deals, is understanding the mindset of your seller and buyer.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you that ignoring somebody or not responding to somebody or acknowledging somebody is a form of invalidation. So if you're ignoring somebody, like somebody texts you,
right,
and you don't get a text back, they ignore you, you feel like shit because that's a form of invalidation. You're getting invalidated by that person because they're telling you with no uncertain terms, like, what you're saying doesn't interest me. I don't like it. Leave me alone. Covertly.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. I'm not important enough for you to answer me? Hello?
Right.
Hello?
And this happened to me because I had a course. Oh, I forgot the name of it. You'll remember the name of it. Where I was teaching people how to go in houses.
Oh, the reluctant buyer.
Yeah, the reluctant buyer. That's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have and still have a whole course where if you went into 3 to 5 houses, the people that actually did it which was very few people because it was ignored. I was invalidated on it. It was like nobody wanted it because the name was wrong and it just didn't make sense. Because see, here's what happens. As we talked about a couple podcasts ago where I had the 6 steps with the awareness.
Yeah.
Whatever you understand now, let's say the first rung, so you understand how to get leads.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way that you unconfuse yourself or straighten out the confusion or get it right is to actually do it. But the next level up, you haven't done that yet. So it's a confusion, and you have no right to criticize or evaluate that step above you because you haven't done it.
Sure.
So that's what happened that I decided that the best way for anybody, and the people that did it crush it now, they do great deals. Because if you go in the house and you listen to the mindset of your buyer and listen to the mindset of your seller, because you're dealing with these people, but you understand the mindset of your buyer. You understand the mindset of your buyer.
Oh,
your
the buyer.
Your buyer. Your buyer, because your buyer is going to open their wallet and pay you.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is for the people that haven't bought a house or haven't done a deal yet, they have no clue because they haven't dealt with the buyer who's going to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can't, without that buyer's mindset, you can't talk to a seller correctly because you don't know what the buyer's willing to do or not willing to do. Let me give you a quick example.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will say, well, a $300,000 house, well, I'll do the deal if you give me $30,000 down, which is 10%.
Uh-huh.
Well, where are you going to get the $30,000? Your buyer's not going to give you $30,000. They'll give it to you over time, but they're not going to give you to you up front. So you just took your whole pool of buyers from, we'll say, 1,000 down to 2. Or
sure.
5.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because you haven't been there yet. So you're spending too much time studying the seller's mindset instead of the buyer's mindset. The buyer is the one that's paying you. If you understood the buyer's mindset, it takes months, years, decades off of your training.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why in Creative REI Reply we just set up options and slot deals, sandwich lease option transactions, because it allows you to go through that process quickly without staying in the deal and no risk. But it allows you to get the market, aka your buyer's mindset.
Mm.
So I'm telling you the absolute long answer that I've spent too much time on because I don't have this time to spend with you today because of what I have to go over. But the whole shortcut is what people think is the long way, right? It's like if you understand the buyer's mindset and you understand what they want, what they're willing to do, and what their average income is, and what the school system is, whatever they say when they're buying, it completely shortcuts all your training on the seller. And if I was smart, what I would do is I would have a mentorship that you could get into, that you could listen to my coaching clients talking to buyers before you did any training on the sellers.
That's interesting, like working it backwards, because
right.
it makes sense. Like, how are you going to go on a trip if you don't know where you're headed, right? So understand. That's it. That's very interesting.
Yeah. So it's the mindset. The mindset is what we're after. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's like opening up a store and not knowing who's going to walk in to buy stuff. Like, right. Do they like your coconuts or do they want guava plants? I mean, you have to know who's showing up before you start selling stuff.
So sellers don't care about your offers, usually. Until the offers solve their pain. And that's what this whole podcast is about. In other words, they only care about their pain. They want to solve the problem. And you have to realize this is the only reason, the one and only reason that they got on the phone with you.
Yeah.
Is because everybody else they talked to about this property missed it. And they're on the phone because they're still seeking their solution for their problem. Which, by the way, what's my definition of solution?
Problem goes away.
There you go.
But
so
they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that easily. Hey, why are you selling the house? Oh, I got this problem, and they don't just tell you. You have to dig around, right?
And we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, sure. Because I want to keep working on that for me, just to keep working on that point.
So if you misdiagnose a seller's pain, right? Or problem,
that's malpractice.
Yes.
Oh no! The way you said it, if you misdiagnose, oh crap! It's almost funny, but it's sadly true.
If you misdiagnose a seller's pain or a problem, your malpractice suit has just started.
Mm.
And it goes downhill from there every time.
Yeah.
Sellers not calling you back, you have malpractice. Sellers not signing your documents, you got malpractice. Sellers trying to get you off the phone, you got malpractice.
Mm-hmm.
Sellers saying yeah, not even listening. Right? Let's just for 1 second talk, just for literally 1 minute. I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do 2 scenarios, okay?
Sure.
So here we go. So Peter, I'd like to give you $400,000 for your house.
Okay.
And you're like, okay. And you answer me like, okay, no
Sure.
lie. Okay,
Sure.
Okay. Okay, now let's do the second scenario
Mm-hmm.
where you think about it.
Ah.
Peter, I'd like to give you $400,000 for your house.
I don't know. I got to think about it.
Okay. Do you see the difference between those 2 responses from Peter? One was, okay. So they're not using their ability to think about it. They're just answering you to get you off the phone because it was a quick response. It wasn't that they were thinking about it.
Yeah, it didn't seem thoughtful at all or sincere.
Right. And that's the difference. Now, that's a technical point. But if you say to somebody, I give you $400,000 and they answer you quickly, then you have malpractice. But if they're like, I don't think I could take $400,000. That won't work for me. Now you need to do a little bit of steering. You need to steer them into an offer.
Yeah.
Right? Where the first one you're not going to do anything with it. You're just going to find out why. Why are they saying you need to understand and then acknowledge why the $400,000 is a joke to them. There's a difference. So the first one, okay, real quick, you're gonna say, okay, well, I don't understand why. What's happening? And let them tell you, and then you need to acknowledge them. Oh, okay, so you think the house is worth $600,000?
Ah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where that's the one that goes quick, but that's the beginning of your malpractice.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So then the second scenario, which I'm telling you, where you're like, I don't know, I don't know. Well, now you need to steer them into a deal. So, okay, so $400,000 doesn't work. So what were you thinking? Like, are we close?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or what's your concern? Well, I like the $400,000, but I don't like the 36 months. But I'd be willing to do 24 months.
Uh-huh.
So you steer them because they're thinking about it. They're contemplating it.
Well, you have something to work with at least.
Right.
I mean, they seem sincere.
You got to understand the distinction between the 2 of them.
Yeah. So could it be also no, just plain old no?
Yeah. What if it's an instant answer without the contemplation? You need to understand why they're saying it, and then acknowledge them, and then ask the question again.
Yeah. Dig in a little deeper.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you take $400,000?
Yeah. You need to know what they're trying to do. Questions like, what are you going to do with the money? What are you going to do when you sell the house? Where are you going? Those type of things to find out what they're concerned about.
Right. It's just a little bit of advanced. That's like what we would do in a coaching group, right? So
Yeah.
So it's just advanced. Like that's the beginning of malpractice.
Okay.
Because you didn't notice the difference between the 2 responses just by the speed of the response.
Interesting.
Right. All right. Before I cover I have 5. Actually, it's 6. I don't know why I put 5. 6 signs of malpractice and what to do. Let's first cover this.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I was going to do this last week on the podcast, so here it be.
Ah.
The one thing everyone should know about habits and how difficult they are to get in and use. Because this is what I got to do is I got to break habits, especially on you. You've been around for 8 years or 10 years or whatever. You got habits. And I created those habits because we, meaning you and I, or my system has developed, and you were there during all the development, so some things you use, some things you don't. You know what I mean? So you're picking and choosing based on your effort level or what you understand or duplicate on what you're using. Mm-hmm. And some of it is good and some of it isn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So excuse me. So habits are hard. The habits are difficult to get in, right? And there's 4 reasons they're difficult. There's 4 reasons why you have difficulty changing your habits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So the first one is finding the motivation to break bad habits is easier said than done. And oftentimes used as a coping mechanism for deeper problems. So the habit isn't the problem. It's the reason why it's like the habit is the symptom of the disease, right? Which means the truth about your deal-killing habits are not just mistakes, they're actually psychological shields.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you rush to make offers without proper diagnosis, you're avoiding discomfort and truly understanding someone's pain. I will tell you right now, point blank, very obviously, and don't send me any support tickets on it because I've got family that has tried to change my opinion about this. If you're a person that says, I don't like confrontation, you may as well not even be in this business. If you say, I don't like confrontation, I don't like arguments, I don't like, then I'm telling you right now, you will be too soft and you will not penetrate somebody's world. You won't get past the social veneer to find out what's really going on.
Yeah.
Because you're too nice. So you need to work on that first. I shouldn't say you're not in it, but you need to work on that first. If you're a person that says, I don't like confrontation, or I stay away from confrontation, or I avoid confrontation, then your personality is as such that you will not dig in.
And it's not even confrontation. I mean, that's what people will say, but it's not like people like have these things on the phone. It's just unwilling to dig in with somebody and just invade the privacy or just find out what's really going on.
No. Here's what the situation is.
Yeah.
You personally would not like somebody to do that to you, so you won't do it to them. You would not want somebody like me, talk to somebody like me that would just be in your face like, well, what do you mean? How much a week do you make?
Yeah.
Like, how much are your taxes? Like, why are you wasting all that money? Like, and I'm just aggressive, right? I would get in your personal space. I do it all the time. That's how I make a living.
Yeah.
I could tell you that that's why I have the status I have in the church that we're in. Because you don't call me. If I text you and you don't call me and you're ignoring my ass, I get in my effing car and I go bang on your front door and say like, what the F? Why aren't you calling me? Why aren't you talking to me? What did I do wrong?
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I understand that I'm over the top. I understand that. I am a New Yorker, so there you go. But the point that I'm making is you have to be willing to invade somebody's privacy, because that's true help. You're helping them when you do that.
I was going to say, you cannot help somebody. I mean, I think the person who doesn't fess up is just afraid to look at his situation, thinking there's no way to fix it. I'm stuck with this. It's a problem. So they don't want to look at it. They don't know you can get out of it. If they knew they could get out of it, they would tell you. So they just don't tell you. They hope it goes away, and it doesn't work. So we have to be a little bit better at that.
So to break this habit, you have to get outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right? So the second one is habits can take upwards of 30 days to form or become a habit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a long time to invest for most people. I think most people try to change habits in 30 hours, and that's too long.
Yeah.
They think because they skipped 1 meal or 2 meals, they're on a diet. I've done that.
Yay. Yay.
Most creative real estate investors give up on new habits within the first week because they expect immediate transformation.
Mm.
Then label it ADHD syndrome. Oh, I got ADHD because they can't concentrate, which is bullshit. That's a made-up disease, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get support tickets on that. It was a made-up. Technically, the Drug Association bailed out the Psychiatric Association by saying to them, well, the psychiatric, the APA was bankrupt. And the Drug Association came to them and say, well, we'll get you out of bankruptcy. Just make a symptom and we'll make a drug for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that symptom was ADHD. And they
Right.
made it, which, by the way, the most common thing they use is Ritalin. And Ritalin is actually what they gave the Vietnam vets in the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a good drug.
Nope.
There are very many people that take too much Ritalin and end up on heroin.
Yep.
Right? But anyways, that's another story. So they label it ADHD when truthfully they get uncomfortable in a few conversations and revert back to their old comfort zones of malpractice. Right? So the habit here, number 2, is it takes upwards to 30 days.
Okay.
Right? But most people want it to change in a week. And the transformation's not quick enough for them. In other words, they get results, right? Like, for example, I want to buy a house and make 20 grand, right? So the first thing you got to do is get on the phone with somebody. Okay, that's good. Then you got to have a conversation with them. So the habit would be, I need to talk to people, right? So the first result might be, hey, I got on the phone with somebody.
Uh-huh.
And that's a transformation. And then the next transformation might be, I had a whole conversation with them.
Hmm.
And the next transformation is, well, now I got somebody that's interested, but I didn't close them. And then the next transformation is okay, I closed them, but I didn't get the paperwork signed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next transformation is okay, I got the paperwork signed. Now I gotta get the document signed. After I got to go do the deal meeting and do all of the investigating, right, the due diligence, and I got to get the actual document signed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to go market it, right? So each one of them is a transformation. But people expect, well, I didn't make 20 grand this week, so like I'm not gonna do that. I got ADHD. Okay.
Patience.
Which brings me to number 3, right? Because the last one is they revert to their old comfort zones because they feel like they're not getting anywhere. They haven't given it enough time, right? So which brings me to number 3, positive or pro-survival habits don't always show rewards right away, which make bad habits easier to fall back on, which is the tail end of what I was just talking into, right? So when you start diagnosing before prescribing in your deals, when you start diagnosing before prescribing in your deals, get that language. Your first few seller conversations might be slower or feel slower and less impressive than your old pitch heavy approach that you were doing before, right?
Yeah.
And when I mean pitch heavy, I'm talking about math. Oh, this will work for you, Mrs. And you're missing the emotion.
Yep.
Right? So you usually won't see immediate deal flow. And you might even question whether or not the method works. But those old habits are really tempting. Because you made an offer, right?
Yeah.
They're really tempting you with instant gratification. But the old habits are not the consistency or the constant and long-term deal habits. Because you have to diagnose before you prescribe. Right? So habit number 4 is habits tend to be a reflection of people's groups or friends that surround them.
Yeah.
Right? Which is a much harder or a much harder or variable way to change overnight. Because if you have somebody that's in a house that has a spouse or a mother and father that believes that rich people, like for example, right now, I'm just gonna say this, but there's a whole movement on billionaires should pay more taxes. And the common people should pay less taxes. Which doesn't make sense to me. They do pay taxes. They even if they don't pay personal taxes, what people don't realize is if they have 1,000 people working for them, they're paying they match every employee's withholding tax, federal taxes, Social Security, everything. They match all of that.
Yep.
So if they have 1,000 people and their payroll is, we'll say $100,000 a week or more, $200,000 a week, they're matching every single withholding tax. So whatever you get taken out of your paycheck, they match it as an employer. So how are billionaires not paying taxes? I don't understand this.
Yeah, well, we do without all the companies that they do. Now, there can be excesses, but that's always the complaint of the poor guy, like, oh, he's got my money. No, you get your own money, And if things are a little unfair occasionally, sure, let's straighten things out. But it's not that simple. Just, you should pay for it all. No.
Now listen to this. So this is where I think my coaching group is different.
Mm-hmm.
If you're surrounded by commission breath.
By what?
Commission breath.
Okay.
People that have commission breath, investors or mentors, they're all about the money. Sell, sell, sell. Always be selling. ABC. Always be selling.
Always be closing.
Always be closing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, ABC.
You got
you're right.
Well, there's ABC followed by ABS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll inconsistently mirror these malpractice errors.
Yeah.
It's not the math that's going to do the deal. It's the emotion. Now the math. Now everybody knows this. That you should know this. That people make decisions based on emotion. They justify the decision by logic.
Yeah.
So knowing that, you need to find out what your seller's pain point is, what's actually ruining them, or what's causing them to get on the phone with you, which could be just as simple, what can I do for you today? Why did you get on the phone for me? And then why haven't you sold your house already? What's missing? What haven't you been offered yet?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, these are simple questions that could be asked, right?
Sure.
All right. So the videos you watch, the local real estate groups you're going to, the forums you're in, even mentors talking about flipping real estate properties, what I call the FREP system, flipping real estate properties, not flipping real estate documents like we do here, because that's what the FRED system is, right? My FRED system. All of these so-called successful folks are swimming with the current malpractice and give social pressure so they themselves feel good. Well, I made 10 offers this week.
Oh, jeez.
You know, one of the things that not enough people talk about, this is a direct marketing thing. Many business owners, because I talk to a lot of them, including my friends, will talk about outflow. How many people they talked to, how many people they texted, how many pieces of mail they put out, how many ads were seen, how many impressions were seen, right? They talk about the amount of outflow, because outflow definitely begets inflow.
Mm-hmm.
What you really need to do if you're an executive and you want to pay attention to your marketing department, the only thing you need to do is you need to do the number. The only one number tells your whole marketing department.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know how much outflow, how much inflow, and what that percentage is.
That makes sense.
So if you put out 100 pieces and 20 people responded, that means that your marketing is 20% efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this is what we need to do in real estate, create real estate. How much outflow? How many offers did you give, and how many yeses did you get?
Yep.
That's a conversion rate.
Sure.
Right? And we don't do enough of that. Right? So here's the last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to get on to the main core of the podcast, right? So rushing a seller and buyer to solutions will always cause problems.
Can you say that again? Can you say that again?
Yeah. So if you're rushing seller and buyer solutions, you'll always cause problems, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're rushing seller and buyer solutions with promises you can't always keep, or you don't know what you're saying when you make the promises. Oh, I'll make that payment for you every single month. Not knowing what the buyer's going to pay. Oh yeah, I'll make a $2,700 a month payment, but the buyer only wants to pay $2,200 a month. So how are you gonna keep that promise?
Yeah.
Right? And deals are always falling apart because you're making promises you can't keep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And this brings me now, the habits I had to bring up just because this is where it starts, right? Your malpractice starts with your habits, right? The only difference between me and you and me and Grant Cardone or me and Donald Trump is my habits and his habits and your habits, right? It's not even necessarily knowledge. You know? I heard Perry Belcher, who's done $1 billion or more on the internet. I'm actually in a private mentor group with him, right? And he says all the time. I forgot what I was going to say.
About habits?
No. Oh well, just flew out of my head. I hate when that happens. It was a point that I was going to make. Sorry.
Well, you're talking about the difference between you, Trump, Grant Cardone, me, you.
God, I hate when that happens. All right, I'm going to skip it. Sorry about that, folks. All right, before I start, I want you to know this is advanced psychology, and I will not have time today to cover all of it. So here's what I'm going to do. Today, I'm going to name all 6 malpractices, and I'm going to give you the signs of them. How do you know that it's malpractice? Then on podcast number 469, which will be next week or the next podcast, I'll give you all the remedies of each malpractice. So today I'm going to give you the malpractices and then their signs, and then next podcast we're going to talk about how you can fix them. So that'll be part 2.
Okay, good enough.
Fair enough?
Sure.
So malpractice number 1. Your offer isn't working. How do you know your offer is not working?
Well, they're not saying yes. They're not saying, sure, send me the paperwork. They're not saying, oh, sounds great. Perfect, that solves all my problems.
So that is correct, but it's a flunk on the answer.
Damn. What?
The reason why is because what you don't need is somebody to say yes. You need somebody that's going to engage. We talked about this many podcasts ago.
Okay.
You want them to engage. So they're not just saying yes, but they're engaged.
Okay.
They sign it right away. You send it over to them at noontime, and by 1 o'clock you got it back. Right? You say, I need to get a set of keys, and they call you back an hour later and say, I got somebody going to meet you with the keys.
Okay.
They're engaged.
They're working with you.
Okay. They're engaged.
Okay.
They're following and they're engaged. That's how you know your offers are working, right? So when your offers consistently get rejected, it's not because your numbers are wrong on the deal. It's because you are treating symptoms instead of the disease. You're making offers based on what you think the seller needs rather than what they've actually told you they need. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to become a millionaire, you want to become a multimillionaire in real estate, I'll tell you exactly how to do it in 4 steps.
Okay.
Find and communicate to motivated sellers. Tell them what you do, aka I do lease options, I do subject to whatever. Right? Find out what's needed and wanted and give it to them. You do that enough times and you'll be a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
But it's so simple. It's like I said, it sounds simplistic, but it's not simple to do. Right? So this formula of 4 things, right, is technically how I come up with all these podcasts. Breaking it down and breaking it down and breaking it down, right?
Okay. Makes sense.
So just like a doctor subscribes medication without understanding the patient's conditions, what did I just say?
Well, just like a doctor gives you like a solution before he really knows the symptom. I'm actually reading a book now by a couple of doctors I met a few years ago in Florida, top specialists, and they're saying exactly that. You know, oh, here's your antacid for your heartburn. Here's it. But wait a minute, why do I have that? Why do I have high blood pressure? Why? The name of their business? Root cause. Like, what's the cause, right? So they're the equivalent of what we do in real estate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you say. I was thinking yesterday and today, I was thinking that I might start a new mastermind or something, and it's going to be called Impact.
Impact.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to name it.
Okay.
I'll probably put a word before it or after it, but I want to have an impact.
Okay.
I want to impact your deal flow. I want to impact your deal structure. I want to impact your income.
Okay. That's good.
All right, so just like a doctor who prescribes medicine without understanding the patient's condition, you're throwing solutions at a problem you have not properly diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're not even or you're not even near the seller's problems.
Yeah.
When you do this, the seller feels like you're not listening. Your offer seems irrelevant. And you get rejected even when your creative structure could have solved their problem exactly. So it's not whether or not you gave the right solution. It's how did the seller feel about it.
Mm.
So you're not digging in enough.
Yeah.
You're missing something. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's one little thing that could happen. How many doctor shows have you watched? And I've not watched a lot of them, but I've watched enough. Or how many movies have you watched? Right? I was talking about last week. I was talking about the Waltons. Right?
Right.
That's my new downtime. God knows. It's about the depression time, and that time kind of fascinates me. Right?
Uh-huh.
And Olivia, the mother had polio.
Yep.
And they were doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. And the son said to her, John Boy said to her, Ma, you're trying too hard. That's what the problem is. No. And then one night, Elizabeth, one of the younger children, was dreaming and she didn't know. And she's calling her. So Olivia wakes up in a fog and needs to go help Elizabeth. And gets up out of the bed and walks.
Old habit, right? The
Yeah,
old habit
right.
takes over.
But her mind was telling her that she wasn't ready when she was. Because she had fallen down a couple times.
Yeah.
Because she had polio, right? So this is how our investors work. They think they know, and they don't. Right? So the best thing in the world, I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, the best thing in the world you could do is ask. So let me get this straight. The reason why you're selling is because you're 3 payments behind and don't have the money and you're worried about blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
Or let me see if I get this straight. The reason why you're selling is because you're tired of going to the house to take care of it.
Yeah.
And you want somebody to do it.
Yeah.
Right? All right. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Malpractice number 2. Commission breath. This means you're letting your neediness or desperation sneak through the conversation. You are rushing through the conversation and you're rushing for decisions and make everything about your timeline and not theirs. This leaves the seller feeling like you're hunting them instead of helping them. And remember I used to say all the time in the beginning, the more we chase them, the faster they run.
Sure.
Right? That's what this is, right?
Yeah.
And they instinctively pull away because they feel like you're hunting them.
Yeah.
Right? You're radiating, I need this deal energy instead of the calm energy that I'm here to help you solve your problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's that anxiety, it's that pressure, it's always be closing mentality, right? And how do you notice that? Well, you notice that because you have perfectly scripted responses to the objections. So somebody says something and you perfectly, so you're solving all their problems with your words.
Mm-hmm.
You have an answer for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, do you think that's a problem?
Well, it doesn't sound bad the way you're saying it, but I think what you're implying is that canned answer isn't really finding out enough about what's going on to be really genuine with the real answer that they need.
Okay. So the magic word there is you
Mm-hmm.
have an answer for everything.
Mm-hmm.
The right way to do it is to ask questions and let the seller have the realization or aha moment, oh, I could do this.
Yeah.
Now they have the answer, not you.
Uh-huh. More questions.
You just giving them the answer. I could tell you in the coaching call, one of the things I've been working on lately, which I don't know if I'm getting very far with it, the best thing in the world to do, we talked about it on a couple of podcasts ago, best thing you could do is tell stories about people that are in the situation they're in.
Yep.
Like, I was on a coaching call the other day, and one of the other guys had a client that was like behind on 2 payments, and here's what they did. What do you think about that?
So you're putting it objective enough that they can just look at it, make up their own mind, instead of shoving it at them, which will likely just push against.
Right. Well, it's your idea, not theirs.
Yep. And
Right.
nobody likes to be held too much.
Well, it's not even that. It's just that if you answer every question and solve every problem, this is like that old saying, give a boy a fish and feed him for a day, or teach him how to fish and feed him for life.
Yeah.
It's the same philosophy.
Good. Yeah, so like what if you could do this, or did you ever hear about that, and let them think it through?
This is malpractice energy that turns motivated sellers into defensive sellers or suspects.
Mm-hmm.
And defensive sellers don't sign contracts and complete deals with you. Even if they say they will, like for those people that don't like confrontation, which there's a lot of those people in this world, yeah, and then they'll disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get you off the phone because they don't want confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So don't make confrontation.
Yep.
Make a conversation. I like that. Don't make confrontation. Make a conversation.
Oh, right. That's a writer downer.
Yeah. Number 3, prescribing without diagnosing. This is the most dangerous malpractice of them all. You hear, I need to sell my house, and immediately start exploring lease options, subject to seller financing, etc., without knowing why they need to sell.
Mm-hmm.
When they need to sell, or what the outcome would make them the happiest.
Yeah.
Right? You know that saying, I don't know, you need to help me with this. Happy wife, happy life, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's it.
Happy wife, happy life? Well, I got news for you. Happy clients, happy business.
Yeah, okay. That's good.
Right?
Sure.
So your goal, like I give my wife a hard time all the time because she consults chiropractors. And she'll start talking to me and she'll be blah, 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 blah. I'm like, how many reviews do they have? What do you mean? Well, they have a front desk and people come to their office. They sit there. They go to the doctor. They fill out all this paperwork. They have to pay. They see the receptionist before and after. So how many reviews do they have? That's how you know. You want to know how a good book is on Amazon? Go see how many reviews.
Well, that's what people do nowadays. If they want to do anything, vacation and rent a timeshare, a car dealership, a company, reviews,
Restaurants.
anything.
Yeah.
If everybody says it's bad or nobody says it's good, they're looking for peer response.
So you hear, I need to sell my house, and you don't dig in and find out why.
Yeah.
So you need to find out what makes them happy, because happy is what you want. When people feel good and they have affinity and they feel like they're up to date on what's real, and they're communicating with you about their problems, and they're doing, I had a top-notch salesman teach me one time. You got 2 ears and one mouth for a reason. You should listen twice as much as you talk. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
This is like a doctor prescribing surgery without running any test first. Right? Your solution might be brilliant, but irrelevant if it does not match what conversation they're already having in their head. And the seller feels unheard and misunderstood and begins to question your competence. You see that theme there, Peter? You notice on almost every one of them, I'm telling you, the seller feels unheard, misunderstood, and they begin to question your competence. All of these end up the same way. It's just different ways that you're doing it.
Sure.
You're not engaged.
Mm-hmm.
You got a teenager kid that stayed out too late at night.
Hmm.
And you ask him, mother asks him, where were you? Don't worry about it, Mom. Right? That's not the right answer. Does she need to dig in? Okay. Where were you last night? Don't worry about it, Mom. No, you're going to tell me where you were last night. See how this conversation's going? There's friction. There's bad energy.
Oh, yeah.
I was with Alicia. Oh, what were you doing with Alicia? Ma, we were just talking. Right? Is the mother getting the raw data? No, he's hiding something. The boy is hiding something.
Sure.
Right? And you need to recognize when this is happening in your deals. Number 4, your seller, malpractice number 4. How am I doing so far, right?
Yeah.
Is this interesting or is it boring?
No, it's interesting because we'll talk about remedies next week. So I got a few questions. I'm waiting till next week because these are the things that happen, but you don't notice they're happening because the seller's also just like, how much can you buy it? He's pushing just to get to the end of the deal too.
Right.
And so, we'll talk about that more about that kind of thing next week. But this is happening.
When somebody says how much, there's only one word that you can say.
Yeah.
Depends. And they're like, depends on what? Well, what's your situation? And then it automatically just puts you right into the right position.
Mm-hmm.
Malpractice number 4. Your seller wants a second opinion. When sellers are saying, I need to think about it, or I want to talk to my attorney, or let me get back to you, it's often because you missed the diagnosis. Or they didn't trust your diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just like a patient with a doctor asking for a second opinion, the seller does not feel confident you will perform or you don't really understand their situation. This always happens when you rush and fail to demonstrate genuine understanding. You fail to demonstrate genuine understanding of their pain. What does genuine mean?
Well, I guess you could say it's very real. It's the it's the real deal.
Yeah.
Genuine. It's almost like malpractice, like the real thing you're expecting to happen happens.
Right. So genuine to me, and it's in the definition, truly something is said to be authentic.
Yeah.
So you can't not be authentic when you're trying to help somebody. It's either you're helping them. There is no good help and bad help. It's just good help or no help.
Yeah.
It's either good help or no help. There's not bad help. There's no degree of bad help.
It's just
either
no.
It's either it is help or it's not help. And you need to draw that line in the dirt. Am I helping you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Like I just said to you, is this helpful?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier to demonstrate your value that you skip crucial step of understanding their emotional and practical challenges. Right? So let me back up. So you have to demonstrate your value that you're helping. That's your value, is you're helping. Right? And not skip this crucial step of them understanding or feeling or perceiving that you're really trying to help them. It's genuine.
Yep.
You can't fake it. You can't fake it.
Yep.
Right? This leaves the seller feeling like your solution is your solution focused instead of a problem. It focused instead of it being a problem focused solution. This creates a disconnect where they don't feel heard, and people who don't feel heard don't trust your solutions.
Yep.
Empathy is off. Empathy means putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, right?
Yep.
Number 6, your deals consistently fall apart. When deals repeatedly fall apart at the last minute, It's usually because you built the entire transaction on a foundation of misunderstanding or miscommunication. You thought you knew what the seller wanted, but you never properly diagnosed their true needs, fears, and desires of desired outcome.
Yep.
What you think it is, it isn't. So they agree to disagree before moving on. Like a house built on sand, these deals crumble when reality hits. What point of the deal is that, Peter? Reality hits. When is that? There's an exact point when reality hits. When is it?
I guess would be when it either goes forward or stops moving at all.
Okay, the fact that you don't know that is the reason why your deals fall apart.
Yeah.
Reality hits when they got to sign the document.
No, that's what I would mean. Like they do something.
No,
like
they don't do something. They just sign.
Sign.
It's not something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So reality hits when they got to put their signature on, even if it's a memorandum, which is a non-legal document that is completely like toilet paper.
Yeah.
If they don't sign that, that means that you missed it.
Yeah.
You know, this is like the story about the gold rush, where the guy had the back in the 1800s, he spent tens and tens of thousands of dollars on all kinds of equipment, getting it up on the hill. They're out there working, out there for 3 months, drilling. He goes broke. He has no more money. Doesn't strike gold.
Yeah.
Goes down to the town, right? And I'm butchering the story. I didn't make the story. I just read it. He goes into town, goes into the bar. Guy says, "Oh, you look down." "Yeah, I'm broke. I drilling gold." Guy says, "I'll buy it from you. How much you want?" So he buys it for him. We'll say for $10, whatever the number is. And then the guy goes and hires a specialist to that spends a week doing whatever to survey the land. They move the drill over 6 feet or 3 feet or something like that, and they drill and they make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Right? It's exactly what we're talking about here, right? You gotta know where to drill. Right? What the first guy didn't do is he didn't survey. He arbitrarily just put his drill and said, "Let's try here, let's try there, let's try here." No research.
Yeah. He didn't do the diagnosis.
Yep.
But the good part of what you're saying, though, is we're probably fairly close on these things. Just dig a little deeper, move a little to the side.
The number one thing that is out when I listen to calls, the number one thing is the qualification.
Yeah.
People do not qualify the diagnosis, right? Yeah. And I know we're at the hour point, but let's just give me a problem. Let's just say, so Peter, why are you selling your house?
It's just too big for us. We don't need the big house anymore. We're going to downsize.
Okay. So you're saying the reason why you're selling the house is that you want to get into a smaller house and downsize.
Yeah.
Okay. Which part of that is most important to you? Is it money? Is it the price? Is it the maintenance? Is it the location? Which part of that is most important to you?
Well, it's partly the money and partly too much to deal with. I mean, a little bit of both. Like, why have something that big that's that much to take care of and waste that kind of money?
Right. So what would I have to do to? What would I have to do to
less efficient?
I see. What would I have to do to buy your house today? What is most important to you?
Well, I'd have to get a good price from it so I can buy my next place.
Okay, so you need the money from this house to buy your next house?
I don't need this money. I could buy another house, but I need to get a good price at this so I don't feel like I'm losing.
Okay, so what's that price?
I think if I get somewhere around $380 out of it, I'd be happy.
So if I were to give you $380,000, you think we could move ahead and do a deal?
Well, I'd like to see how you would do that, sure.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay.
You see what I just did?
Yep.
Did I find the problem? Did I diagnose you in like, what was it? Well, when I looked up the clock, it was actually 2 minutes. I looked up, it was 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 1 hour, 1 minute, and it's not 1 mile. It was 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And how did it feel on your end?
It felt fine. It didn't feel like you're badgering me or asking irrelevant questions. It felt like you were just trying to see what I was trying to do.
Did you feel like I was trying to help you?
Yeah, because you're asking like, what are you doing? Why? What do you need? Yeah.
Did it feel like you were in a doctor's office and you had a pain in your knee and he's just talking to you?
Not just talking. No, it felt like he was trying to find out.
Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how easy it is. I mean, I got to go into all these all this theory and descriptions because not enough people do that.
Yeah.
But see, the most important part is twice in that 2-minute conversation, I qualified. Is this it? Would you be willing if I did? Right? So you're saying that the reason why you want to sell is because blah, blah, blah. So if I were to give you 380, could we do a deal? Well, now you're interested. You're engaged in the conversation. It's not me telling you, I can't give you 380, but I'll give you 360. Because there is a way, because my theory is, tell me the price of your house, and I'll give you your price, let me pick the terms.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch to you a slut deal. Here's how it works. If you wanted to wait 3 years for your money, I'll give you 380, but not only give you 380, but I can give you, let me see what the number is, about 35% more. So 380,000, right, times 35%. I can give you $133,000 more money.
Yeah.
Right? That would be $513,000. What would you, because you're stuck on money, right? Right? So you're stuck on the money. I need to make money. Well, what if I were to give you about $513,000 for this property? Would that tickle you?
Mm-hmm.
Would that help? Well, here's how it works, and you go through the numbers.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm going through the numbers is because I diagnosed you first, and your button is the money. It has nothing to do with the math. It has everything with, well, I feel like I got to get that much money for me to win. I feel like, you said that to me.
Yeah.
I feel like I got to get 380.
Yeah, I said the word, it'd be fair. So I don't feel like I'm getting screwed. I'm taking the best advantage of my money. I'm being smart. Oh, you did such a good job on your house sale. Aren't you clever?
Right. And I went deep too. I wasn't, that's right. I got what you just said about being clever. So I went deep. Enough, but not deep. I didn't have to go into this profound conversation. I didn't need to lay you down on the couch and ask you how you're feeling, and tell you about how your mother and your sexual preferences, like the psychologists do, and you were beaten when you were a kid, so now you're arguing with your husband, type of thing.
Yeah, it's enough.
Okay, so I hope this makes sense. I hope that we're helping here. This malpractice creates a pattern where you can get contracts, where you can't get contracts. Well, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Hang on a second. Let me read this. Oh, this last one that I'm talking about is number 6, where your deals consistently fall apart. Right? With this malpractice, number 6, where your deals will constantly fall apart, creates a pattern where you get contracts, you get deals, people say yes, but they don't close, they don't sell. So they don't close, they don't sign the initial paperwork, or if they do sign the initial paperwork, they won't sign the closing paperwork, and they leave you frustrated, and you start to question your abilities when the real problem is your diagnosis process. Deals are falling apart and you don't know why, and you're trying to get better scripts, you're trying to practice how to talk to sellers, and it's not any of that stuff. It's just malpractice because you didn't do the diagnosis, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a lot. Let's end off. But the good news is I figured out how you could add actually 3 simple questions to any script at any part and take you from a 10 or 15% deal making closing ratio up to a 40% plus closing ratio with 3 questions.
Cool.
All right.
I like
so
that.
make sure you tune in to part 2 because I'm going to cover that next week. Part 2 will be podcast number 469, and I'm gonna review. We'll go through the podcast at first. I'll review a little bit of what we talked about today, and then we're going to actually go into how you can use these 3 questions. And I have to somehow spend some time and actually add them to my coaching scripts because it will take the average person that's not closing and get them to close. It'll do everything we talked about today in an hour, and 3 questions. It'll be pop, 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 and you'll be able to get it. And I've got those 3 questions.
Sounds good.
Okay, so make sure you subscribe to us wherever you're watching or listening to us. Make sure you like us. Make sure you leave us a review. Make sure you go into the description and click on the link to get your goodies because there are some goodies in there. Make sure you go to Amazon, type in William Hawthorne, Hawthorn, no E, and grab my book, Leads, Deals, Cash, Creative Real Estate Operator's Manual. That is the impetus of my coaching group. It's actually $30,000 worth of coaching for $27. So go grab it, and then when I get the workbook, you'll be able to get the workbook. And like I said, my new coaching program, which I've designed and ready to release it, will include not only the book and the workbook, but it will include a weekly call with me, guiding you through all that stuff. So it's taken me a long time to do this, Peter, but we actually have a system now where you can go step 1, step 2, step 3. Within 13 weeks, you will know how to have a real estate business and run it profitably. Where to get leads, all kinds of stuff. Okay?
Yes, sirree.
So thank you for your attention. Don't forget to subscribe to us and like us, and we will chat at you at podcast number 469 when I reveal those 3 questions. Over and out. Have actually flourish and prosper this week, and we'll talk to you soon. Adios.
This has been Flipping Houses for Rookies. The American Dream. What is it? It's called financial freedom, and with real estate, you'll have it. Without the banks, without the bigwigs, and without the realtors' nonsense. Bill and Pete are 2 real estate investors with 30 years plus of experience, hundreds of deals under their belts, and a mission to change the way you think about creative real estate. Do be sure to like, rate, and review the show. And after that, hit up our YouTube channel at Flipping Houses for Rookies /streams. We'll be back soon, and see you then on Flipping Houses for Rookies.